What's good, homies, and welcome back to another episode of our West Tigers rebuild series. We are in round number 7, and before we get into the game, we have made a few lineup shifts, no ins and outs, just a bit of player shuffling. Alright, so as you can see here, we've moved Daniel Tupou to fullback, Lolohea into the centres, and we've pushed Mahe Fonua onto the wing. I also decided to start Tim Grant, and Matulino will be coming off the bench. Right, so our opponent for today, as you can see, are the Newcastle Knights, and we're on the road once again, playing at McDonald Jones Stadium. So much like last season, the Knights are actually doing pretty good. They've won 5 games, lost once to start the season, and they're coming into this match riding back-to-back wins. As for us, we're sitting at 14th. We've just suffered our 2nd loss in a row, and that's our 4th loss this season. Coming into our 2nd season with the Tigers, I was expecting it to be a little easier, but surprisingly, the game is a lot harder. Well, not necessarily a lot harder, but I like that it's still a little difficult to get some wins or string some wins together. So the Knights, currently 2nd in the league, and despite them being up at the top, I was pretty confident going into this match as we get tackled with Packer just inside their 10. On the 3rd now, as we go to Aloiai, and he gets smashed in the tackle, dropped on the spot. We overrun the play, so we just send it out wide, drawing pass, and Nangama's going to slice right through, untouched as we get the first try of the game. We were kind of forced to improvise there on the spot. I was already thinking of what to do and the ball had already come out, so I just kept passing until we found a gap. As we just sneaked the ball inside, a couple of bounces off the posts as it pinballs its way through for 2. Back in attack with Packer, as he goes on a nice little run there, breaking 1 tackle. 2nd tackle, we go to Taylor, back inside, and a little switch to Brooks. We're just passing the ball around at this point. On the 3rd, as we go to Taylor, he gets wide to Nofoaluma, finds a little bit of space there down the sideline until he eventually gets wrapped up, 25 out from their line. On the 4th now, as we send it out the back to McCurrick, drifts across field and delivers a beautiful short ball to Dan Tupou, hits him on the chest, short and flat, and we get through once again untouched for our 2nd try of the match. As we take another look on the replay from Tupou's perspective, there were a couple of block runners, shows it once, then delivers it on the 2nd time, and that majestic looking dive to finish. A pretty decent play by the hooker, as we jump back with Tui here to take the shot at goal, and we're going to slot it once again and extend our lead to 12 points. That ends up being all the action in the first half. A couple of nice line breaks and a couple of slick passes to set up some tries. Looking at the halftime match stats, pretty dominant and one-sided. 69% time in possession. We completed 5 from 6 sets, made 1 error, and we've only missed 6 tackles. Given the amount of time in possession we had, we probably should have scored more points, but it was still a pretty good first half performance. As we jump into the 2nd half with Newcastle in attack, they get out the back to Hodgkinson to clear the ball, and it's going to be Nofoaluma fielding it. As we make a little break here, Kalen Ponga with the late dive. We've got a set up to the right. Looks like a block play. As they go to McQueen, links up with Reynolds, and he's going to run through. Almost makes it through the line, but he's going to get caught up from behind. So back on the 3rd, just on their 40 here, as we go to Brooks, with the chip in chase, regathers it, gets an offload away to Nangama, another offload, this time finds Nofoaluma, and we're going to race away for our 3rd try of the game. Pretty decent play by our left edge, all sparked up by a chip in chase by Luke Brooks, and a series of offloads from both Brooks and Nangama. As we take another look here, nice little offload, drawing past another offload. Nofoaluma still had a bit of work to do. He did manage to get around Ponga one-on-one at the back and almost got ankle tapped, but he would have made it regardless. Back off Lolohea to take the shot at goal, and he's going to slot it straight down the middle as we keep the record intact, 3 from 3 so far. Alright, so back in attack, first tackle off the set. A beautiful drawing pass to Idris, but he's going to get driven backwards in the tackle. So it looks like the tackle count reset for some reason as Sue makes a break. He gets past the coverage at the back by Kalen Ponga. As we jump into the 2nd tackle, an interesting lineup to the left. As we go to McQueen, another drawing pass puts Tupou into some space, and he's going to get wrapped up by Ponga, just outside their 40. On the third, we go to Brooks, a ball to again Chris McQueen as he drives for more meters. We set up for an inside ball, and we get the formation that Insane likes a lot, as we hit Tupou with the inside ball, and he's going to race away. Another try, untouched. A beautiful set play coming together after a pretty decent set, making a lot of meters. A lot of players finding gaps, and it's going to be Tupou once again gets a second try of the match. As we take another look on the replay, a beautiful inside ball, and we were kind of guided through due to an offside Newcastle player. You would have seen him with his hands up as Tupou races away, scores his second of the match and our fourth for the team. I don't know what you could credit this performance to, but our attack has been pretty on point so far. We're getting a lot of go forward, and on the back of that, we're setting up some nice looking tries. Inside the final 20 minutes with Nangama, as he gets pulled down just inside our 30. On the first, we attack the short side here through Idris, and he's going to get driven back in the tackle. Second tackle. As we go to Packer, bumps off one yet again, and he's going to get pulled down by Kalen Ponga. A bit of a struggle for Ponga as Packer drives for more meters before eventually getting tackled. Fourth tackle on their 30 as Brooks delivers a beautiful flat ball to Nangama, and he's going to race away for his second try of the match. A familiar combination if you've been watching since the start of the series. Luke Brooks linking up with Nangama. Back of Lolohea here as he takes the shot at goal, a little more difficult, and it is going to fade away to the right. So our first miss of the game, 28 points to 0, 10 minutes remaining, back off Newcastle in attack. Trying to make some last minute subs here, and it's going to be Newcastle who run an inside ball play for Kalen Ponga, gets around one, steps past Tupou as well at the back, but it's going to get pulled down from behind, 5 meters out. Second tackle, they go to Lamb, and he just takes it to the line. We somewhat recover from that little break as we transition to the fifth and last for the Knights. Hodkinson with the big up and under, a decent kick, it's a little shallow, but we've got Daniel Tupou there to pull it down. Not the guy you want to bomb to, as Nofoluma almost makes a nice little break down the short side. I was trying desperately to hold them out, try and keep them to 0, and we make an error here on the third with 5 minutes to go. An attacking scrum just inside halfway for the Knights. One off the scrum, they go to Ponga, and he's going to get driven backwards. On the first here, as we make it 3 last minute subs, a nice little short ball to Saifidi. He gets the offload away to Brock Lamb, who gets driven backwards. Second tackle for the Knights. They go to Saifidi, links up with Paulie, who breaks the line, gets the offload away to Barnett, and he's going to get pulled down inside the 20. So with about a minute and a half remaining, they go to Saifidi. A beautiful run, gets the offload away to Barnett, he gets out a 2-post tackle, and they're going to score. They're finally going to get on the board with a minute remaining in the game. Definitely need to take a look at that on the replay, as who was it, Saifidi with that break, that initial bump, gets the offload away, and then a little bit of strength on display by Barnett to get out of Tupou's attempted tackle. As Hodkinson takes the shot at goal here, from right in front, as you'd expect, he gets the 2 points. And that wraps up all the action here at McDonald Jones Stadium. On the road, we defeat the Newcastle Knights, 28 points to 6. It was Daniel Tupou's debut at fullback, and he ended up having his best game for us. As we look at the full-time match stats, and finally, one of our players get man of the match. It's Daniel Tupou, who scored a double. Kevin Nangama also got a double, and Nofoluma also picked up a try. It was a pretty clinical performance by us, our best performance so far this season. We dominated for 75 minutes. We kind of fell asleep towards the end of the match, and that gave Newcastle their first points of the game. Regardless, it was still a pretty good performance. We made 28 line breaks, we only missed 7 tackles, and we also completed 10 from 12 sets. Lastly, before we jet, as usual, I want to show you guys the individual player stats so you can cast your votes and everything. As always, drop the like button for more content. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you. Later.
Stress out, waking up, it's time to get it. Ain't no room for the haters, ain't got time for jealousy. I'm too focused on the music, the money, and where I'm headed. If it rain, I'm up